Hello and welcome to teamfortress.tv. You are joining me, CommanderX, and TurboTabs with our cameraman Suyooo for the coverage of this ETF2L Premiership Week 5 fixture between ESPORT and Lethal Weapon. France against Russia. How are you feeling, Turbo?
I'm feeling good. I heard it's going to be really interesting tonight. We've got some weird, cute shenanigans coming out from Shadowburn, as well as some swap outs in the eShock lineup tonight.
Yeah, Demul is unavailable for whatever Demul reason he has. So they tried to get T-Mackin as a Merc, but Lethal Weapon denied it. The pre-game Merc denial coming out. So instead they have Ramagan on, who most of you will probably know. Can't remember the name of his last team, but it was some like sort of low-prem French team. Am I right in saying that?
Ouch, man. The last low French Prem team was... Oh, wait, no, he was playing with Team Conaslash for a little bit, but before that, he was playing with me. I thought that was a direct shot at me then.
Oh, no. Unintentional.
Alright.
Like most of my successful hits. But yeah, it should be pretty interesting tonight. I am obliged to mention that over on the main TFTV1 channel, they are casting Suave against Nuts and Rollerbladers, which will be, I guess, a bit more of a top-of-the-table clash. But obviously, I think, if you have not already heard, I think Merlin has got an AWOL. So they are currently having Larval Extract Merc and Noxon Medic, so that'll be interesting for different reasons. But our game will be interesting just because Lethal Weapon are a bit of a hot streak recently, PCW-wise at least, after making the switch up to Shadowburn on Pocket. Well, what they had originally at the start of the season, but not just Shadowburn and Pocket, but with the Conch and the Black Box, which just makes him like an overpowered tank of damage. He tanks like 10k, 12k damage a game, and does not die, and just keeps pumping out that damage. So it'll be interesting to watch if eShock have an answer to that.
Well, that's good to hear, because Lethal Weapon really need this win. Both eShock and Lethal Weapon are tied apiece in between the 6th and 7th place, both on 9 points. But Lethal Weapon have had like a slightly easier time with their opponents this season, while eShock's already played against, I think it's BK, or something like that?
Yeah, eShock have already played against BK and against Reason, so they have got, I guess, 2 of their harder fixtures out of the way. They've just got the sort of French derby next week, and then they have a pretty easy running with C-Play towards the end of that.
Yeah, well, Lethal Weapon actually lost to C-Play. Well, maybe not lost, they drew against them, and that was C-Play's only victory of the whole season.
Yeah, certainly sort of I guess a big mistake, really dropping points there. But since then, they kind of just wiped the floor with Lego. But they're after tonight's game, they are playing Suave, followed by the Nuts and Rollerbladers at the end of the season. But given their sort of current like turn of results since this switch up of Shadowburn's loadout, I don't think they'll be too worried about those fixtures. Really, I think they beat Suave earlier tonight in the PCW, obviously without Merlin, but still.
Wow.
Getting the results. Let's take a look. We've got some team stats made by the ever-reliable gentleman John. I believe we're going to go to eShocks first.
Alright, let me pull that up for you, see if we can get the magic going.
Yeah, I will give Suyooo. I'm not exactly sure how this works. But...
If it's working right now, it should be all across the screen. Super.
In theory. So obviously you're going to have to just pretend Demul's stats do not exist.
Do you think first question? Oh, Mumble's crashed the thing for me.
No, you're fine.
Oh,
Keep
cool.
going.
Okay. So first question: do you think Ramagan's stats would be better than Demul's stats on this page right now?
Yes.
You rate him higher than Demul, do you?
Yes. The only thing I don't know, I think Ramagan's maybe a little bit more heal dependent than Demul would be, so I don't know how that will factor into sort of, I guess, Eden's game, you know?
Yeah, but Demul's got those direct hit skills. Remember that period?
Like that.
He picked up the direct hit for like a whole game, and then everybody on the planet hated him for a second, he kind of reconsidered. So I don't know how much that will skew his stats per se, but yeah, Ramagan, he's a lot more... I guess stable of a choice than Demul right now, and he brings not just his stable stats as well. He's quite a commanding presence in the the chat, the communications. So maybe he might come in and start doing a little bit of main calling in a way, or maybe he'll just.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, I don't know who really takes charge in this team. I think Izzy does a lot of the vocal work as well. So, but yeah, I guess the other thing to watch here, I guess, is obviously Nico is going to stand out as sort of, I guess, the star player of the lineup. He did as well, has his moments, but obviously, what's going to be the most consistently fascinating sort of clash of tonight is going to be E-Shock versus the other side, since all their stats are pretty, I guess, they seem appropriate for where they are in the table, you know? These stats again will be slightly skewed for different reasons, as I think like Victor and Atomic have swapped classes for a couple of games, or like half a map, or maybe a whole map. So obviously there's a little bit of a difference there that will kind of lead to some inconsistencies. But what they seem to be doing right now from PCWs is Shadowburn runs for Blackburn and Con, and Victor, aka Forsaken, basically plays Pocket Scout. Then Atomic roams Monty, like Atomic and Monty have a flank, and Def kind of plays a very sort of kind of not quite solo role, but he plays very much sort of in the background, away from the heels, just pumping out damage, which suits Def, suits how he wants to play. And so far, that combination has proved lethal, you could say.
Good one.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this Monty guy?
I think he'll be okay. You know, I think Monty and Atomic have basically just been told to stay together. I think also, because Shadowburn can absorb so much damage, it becomes almost pointless for anyone to try and like focus Shadowburn by themselves. I was talking to you a bit about this before, where like, you know, like if you push last with Uber, and they have a heavy and they have a level 3 sentry, and you have to kind of use most of your Uber to take down that, and it just absorbs a lot of damage. It's kind of like having that, but having it portable, harder to hit, and you can use it at all points of the map, and every about 30 seconds, he's able to give everyone a speed boost, and like 35% of their health back. Like, it sounds a bit silly, but it's super effective, and they seem to be making the most of it right now.
It sounds less like TF2 and sounds more like a raid boss to me.
Yeah. I remember when we used to talk about like when the Demoman nerf happened, and you know how people enjoyed how powerful the Demoman was, because it kind of made it like a mini boss kind of thing. You know what I mean? But this is what Shadowburn has sort of made himself like a main boss, basically, where he's going to need a lot of focusing down to stay to keep him down, but also because it allows him to pump out damage as well at the same time. So I think E-Shock certainly have a lot of work on their hands. It'll be interesting to see how prepared E-Shock are as well. Like, if they're just going to play this like a standard game, because I think if they go in just expecting like a standard 6v6 game with no class, not like unlock nonsense, they're going to get absolutely sort of torn apart by it.
Do you think they're completely unaware of it whatsoever? Like, this will be the first time interacting with it?
I don't think so. I think it's been a talking point for quite a long time. Obviously, it was streamed previously as well when they played Lego. Obviously, they probably would have won that Lego game anyway, looking at the matchup. This game will be a lot closer, but I think if they cannot deal with Shadowburn, they're going to be unable to win this game.
There's a lot of weight behind this this meta-changing tactic, you could say.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. Also, the other interesting thing it will have is it might mean Forsaken will snipe less, which will be interesting in itself, just because he's such a strong sniper, but if he's going to be playing this basically like second pocket, he'll be staying on that more, and I think he is more consistently better when he is on that scout class.
Yeah, it's a little strange. Usually Forsaken's been going for this sort of Zebasai role a while back, where he would just kind of go in and go ham, but he hasn't been really pulling it off to the full effectiveness that Zebasai does it. He might get the kills, but he doesn't stay alive as much as Zebasai does. So maybe this pocket role is really going to round it out and as well for the team.
Yeah, while we're talking about both of them together, let's move over to the head-to-head stats, which should work.
Yeah, let me pull them up here.
Touch wood.
Okay, bring report.
Just
The
a quick
magic
update.
should be right there.
They are still trying to decide on servers, and basically the Russians just keep getting terrible servers. So we are still waiting on the server decision from both teams, a server agreement from both teams. So
that's good though. We get to look at more stats, statistics.
just as
the
well,
real.
Gentleman John made all of these.
Yeah, this is the real bread and butter of the stream.
The interesting thing, looking sort of on one side to the other, is you see, like, I guess Victor and Shadowburn stats kind of stand out a bit more than the others. Whereas across the esports side, I mean, Nico's are quite, like, a bit further ahead, but not to the same degree.
I don't know. He's slapping out a whole 25% of all the kills for the eShot lineup. And you need to imagine this is 6 players on what? Well, I guess 5 players really. The mode doesn't really count, but 5 players, and he's getting a quarter of all the kills for his team. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think possibly eShock's best chance is because they have more consistent good players across their lineup. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, like you were talking earlier, Monty might struggle, especially now he's not got the same. I say he's not got the same support of having Victor next to him all the time, but Victor often wouldn't be next to him anyway, so he's probably not really that far apart. Really, so not really that different. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think eShock's best chance is to kind of stack the flank. You know, let Droso, because Droso and Nico, compared to say Monty and Atomic, and if you factor Deegan into that as well for eShock, then you probably have a much more powerful flank. So if they can overpower the flank, then even though Shadowburn may be alive, it may be harder for him to get anything done.
Do you think Shadowburn could wipe out an entire team in these conditions?
Like, the thing is, it's not like a spectacular wipe, like when he runs this black box unconscious. It's not like a spectacular thing.
Flashy.
It's just he just always has more health than you. Like, no matter how much you shoot him, or even if a couple of people are shooting him, he always just he's on full health. Like, if you stop shooting him, he's back to full health within like 5-10 seconds if he's got the conch going, and it just makes it like.
So it's who's going to run out of ammo first?
Yeah, basically, but yeah, especially I think if Droso and Nico and even Deegan to a certain degree need to be careful that they don't get trapped into like trying to take him on. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, getting scrappy.
I played it earlier against Dr. Phil when he was on a pickup, and you have to kind of snap yourself out of the your standard play. You have to kind of remind yourself constantly, like, not I've hit 150 damage, I'm gonna go in for the kill. He's at most half health. You know, like you have to kind of remind yourself that you can't just take him on like a head-to-head, like a combo. Like even if you've got like the standard rocket launcher with an extra rocket, extra damage, you still can't take that fight because you're never going to win. You're never going to be able to kill him.
What about the eShot lineup pulling out some of the off classes? Maybe that'll make, if they could just pick Shadowburn off, you know, maybe with a fully shot head snipe or maybe a backstab.
The problem is, because obviously Sunshine and Snakewater, the maps for tonight, do both lend themselves to like a sniper-based gameplay. The problem with that is you're then just encouraging Forsaken to pick up the rifle as well.
Oh, yes.
Droso and Nico are not bad snipers, but
it's just Forsaken.
They're not Forsaken. Yeah, Forsaken has a good day, or even a pretty decent day. You know.
Yeah, for everyone that doesn't know out there, like Forsaken just seems to be like a godlike sniper. I don't know when it happened or how it happened, but
played CS:GO all the time.
It just suddenly started playing sniper one day, and then he was just hitting people constantly with these insane shots that people haven't seen since like Jukebox.
But yeah, I think because they cannot agree on a server, they're getting an ETF2L server. So they said they will start soon. Hopefully, all the players are there, all the players are present, ready to go. We are literally just a server away from a game.
All right. Well, we've talked about the scouts. I guess line up the soldiers. Let's talk about the demo men. We've kind of, you know, swibbed past them, if that's a word. But yeah, Hidan versus Def. What do you think about that matchup?
I think it's really even. I think Def is much more like a steady spammer. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a much more passive demo man, which will suit the way they're playing. whereas Hidan tends to be a bit more involved in the thick of it. And I think Hidan probably has better DM, particularly in sort of case one-on-one situations or sort of close combat things. The only problem I think is that kind of playing in their face will only work in Lethal Weapon's favour if that's what Hidan decides to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he ends up getting picked off as well, I also think E-Shock are more reliant on Hidan being up than Lethal Weapon are on Death. So even if Hidan trades for Death, Lethal Weapon are more than happy to take fights without Death.
Yeah, we can actually see on the stats here that Hidan has a slightly better stats than Death, edging out just a little bit. So do you think this strategy coming out from Lethal Weapon is going to just completely negate that matchup altogether?
It all depends how prepared they are for it. You know what I mean? I think if, like I said, if E-Shock play their standard game, they are going to get torn apart. Really, and it's always harder if you play against a strategy with no real plan. You're gonna lose like 2 rounds, 3 rounds. So even if you start to figure out a way to combat it a bit better, you're playing from a 3-round deficit, and with this, with all the healthy like Shadowburn can tank, it slows the game down anyway, just because it's harder to kill him. Like you just have to do more damage before you can successfully push past him. So it will slow the game down, and if you're already 3 rounds down, it's going to force you to make riskier and riskier plays. And again, all just feeding into Lethal Weapon's hands.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really difficult for Hidan because he's not the most experienced of demo men out there. He's kind of more the mid-table demo man. He's competent, but doesn't really show himself to be bad. So maybe the fact that there's something extraordinary happening here in TF2 is it's not going to be good. He's not some like a free creative spirit like Cadis is.
Mm.
So we've only got one last matchup, CommanderX. We've got the medics to talk about. Usually we don't even get to these. The match has already started. But you could tell me all about this. You're a medic player yourself, aren't you?
Yes. I don't have a stat link to have. I'm going to have to wait for it to come up on the screen.
Well, I'll pull up the team page for now, and we can have a look at what stats we got there.
There doesn't seem to be a lot in it, honestly, really. Like, we're talking like a few decimal points worth of difference.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping there would be some extraordinary stat there, but cursed, all these medics. Is it really only Mirrorlin or something like that, where they start showing visible differences, or?
Yeah, I think Izzy's probably better at surviving, and he does tend to pop quite easily, though, which is
better at surviving than White Glow.
Yeah, White Glow is very like up and down. Like he would do some really nice escapes, and then he'll go through a phase where he just keeps getting picked off. Like if you look at a lot of their games, I don't know if it's because of White Glow or because of like if they start ending a few rounds down, they tend to go a little bit more balls to the wall and just forget that White Glow is a factor that needs protecting. So I don't know if it's that, and that leads to White Glow having like more deaths, but as you can see on the stat, he's sort of averaging 3 more deaths a game.
I can remember when White Glow first came onto the scene, he was kind of regarded as those medics that just never died, and he was quite reliable in that sense. It's very strange now to hear that he's just one of those, either he does it or he doesn't.
I think it's more to do with his team, like I said, like, you know, when they go balls to the wall, White Glow does just get, and he does have a tendency to really commit to supporting them as well, which will often lead him in, I guess, more risky situations, whereas he's a much more of a sort of play it safe kind of medic, which will look better on the stats, but whether it's actually as effective in game. Obviously, most these stats from White Glow, all except, I think, 3 of the games are without Shadowburn and the Black Box Conch. One of them is, so it'll be interesting to see.
So you think maybe Shadowburn will get the most healing on his team with that Conch?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, he gets most heals from his medic, most heals, and plus the Black Box and the Conch heals.
And it's kind of the jack of all trades, this Conch. It just does everything, compared to its counterparts of like the Buff Banner or I can't remember what the other one's called now, but
the Battalion's backup.
Yeah.
Backup, something like that.
I don't think
I think.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed in that season just yet. Maybe the Buff Banner. But
they're not as, I guess, dynamic. You know, like it doesn't offer you as much of a. Like the problem with the other, like the Buff Banner is because have less firepower, you are very much just resort to a much more passive game. The same can be said of a direct hit as well. To a large degree, you're forced to play a lot more passively.
And they were around before. I can remember them being used for a bit, but they got deemed maybe a bit too powerful or something like that. They either got removed by the league, or I think actually some of them got nerfed in some of the TF2 updates. So maybe that might have been the reason why everyone's starting to switch to Conch as well. But I think it's all this speculation. I think it's like the other two aren't allowed in the season. I can't quite remember. I haven't looked at the whitelist for ages.
They're either banned or no one uses them because they're rubbish.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing. But it'll be interesting to see if he dies the same amount with, Shadowburn being so... Because the strategy is to let Shadowburn tank for damage, obviously White is going to stay a lot closer to him a lot more consistently. And with Victor playing around them as well, you get the same result.
So do you think this... Playing with like Shadowburn or against it, do you think it's fun to play? Is this a kind of TF2 that you can get behind?
Kind of. I don't know. I don't know what it would be like if both teams did it. It might just end up in a really kind of weird, awkward, spammy stalemate, similar to when the Americans used the quick fix.
Oh man! Don't say that word out loud.
That's just theorycraft. But watching a team not mirror it and try and go up against it, that's really fascinating.
Car crash.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch because it's watching someone try and break it will be interesting. Do you know what I mean? When there's not a simple we just out DM them kind of thing, someone actually countering it without just matching it. Because I think that'll be the key to whether it is an overpowered exploit of loadout combination, or whether it's it's just something that needs to be figured out. But watching the sort of process of someone on trying to figure it out, because if the only way to combat it is to match it, with the quick fix, really, then it probably is overpowered. I think crits is maybe a good option, just consistently using crits, because it kind of neutralizes it as well.
Yes. Maybe, I don't know, I'm all up for, as long as it doesn't slow down the gameplay as well. I think that seems the general consensus behind everyone is we like to keep our game as fast as possible, because it is a somewhat slower game to other FPSs like Quake and whatnot. So the last thing we need is more things slowing down this game.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I feel like we just got a connect.
It's that connect, oh my days. I've missed you.
I almost forgot it was going to be a game to follow this theory crafting.
Yeah. Alright. I'm just going to load this bad boy right now.
I'm just asking Forsaken how the server is for him. Because, I don't know, Russians sometimes have a bit of a habit of not always doing that well. If there's little things like this, kind of technical problems or such. But I have complete faith. I'm a not so closet Russian fanboy. So I'm looking forward to this.
I'm just loading out the map here.
All my settings are sorted. I am ready. They are currently on 2 Fort, which will be an issue. I am not aware if we're going to Snakewater or to Sunshine first. But from what I hear, these two maps also favour the Russians as well. So the more I think about it, the more I think Lethal Weapon are sort of strong favourites, and eShock have to pull something out of the bag here.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon, they actually placed pretty well in the Sunshine Cup a while ago, if you guys can remember that. It was about maybe a month or so. They placed second, right behind Reason, but they did get absolutely demolished by Reason on that map. So maybe they've learned a thing or two since then.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm just going to check with them if they're ready to go.
Yeah, it seems they're just faffing about in 2-4 for now.
I presume they need an admin to change the map since they are borrowing an ETF2L server.
Ah, yes.
In theory. Droso says they have finally agreed, so maybe.
Now it's a question of Snakewater or Sunshine first. I think the Frenchies are going to be a lot more comfortable on. Oh, and the server's gone down, or is that just me?
Yeah, I think they swapped servers several times.
Oh boy.
So we will see. Because the server they are on currently is not the server our Source TV is connected to.
Alright, okay. Well, back to the question at hand.
Hold on, we have to set up another STV. Giving you the info, Suyooo. Is that enough? Cool. Definitely send me the info. The info has been passed on. We are connected. How long do you reckon it will take, Suyooo?
Well, whilst production is, clicking and clacking all those buttons in the background, got more time to kill, Commander. Woo, yay. Let's talk. What is there left to talk about? We've talked about. I guess we talked about Snakewater.
Give me a prediction.
Prediction. Oh my god!
Give me a prediction for both maps. Since we go to Snakewater first, actually. Give me Snakewater prediction.
Snakewater. I'm going to go with. The lethal weapon strat. It's. Like you said, if it's going to catch them off guard, and they're probably not going to know what to do with it, at least for one map, I'd say. So I'm going to say it's maybe a 5-1. I'm not going to steamroll it all the way through, and I think eShot will get like a random, cap in there somewhere, maybe the back cap strat.
Cool, I am on the server now. Suyooo, are you on the server? I'm taking that as a yes. Turbo, are you on the server?
I'm connecting now.
Cool, so it looks like we're going to be starting with Lethal Weapon, the Russians on blue, and the all-French eShock Esports on red on Snakewater first. I think I'm going to have to echo your sentiment and think Lethal Weapon will probably take this, especially because even if Black Box Conch doesn't work, which I'm yet to see it do, then they still have to deal with potential for Forsaken to snipe on this map.
A lot of raid bosses to play against.
A lot of possible issues.
And even then, if all that happens, if they could just decide to, think, oh, this isn't working, we'll just go back to the way we've been playing TF2 for years, and then just play it the good old-fashioned way.
It's gone up again. So there may be more delays.
Please
don't get too don't get too ahead of yourself.
That's alright. I guess we can do our Sunshine prediction ahead of time. What do you think, Sunshine? Second map?
I reckon they'll smash Sunshine. I reckon Snakewater might be 4-2, maybe 3-1, 2-round difference.
Okay.
Apparently Monty is not going to play, is what I'm hearing.
He said let's play in the chat thing, maybe.
Don't know, that's obviously a 90-second delay. I've just been messaged by Forsaken saying they're going to get someone else in. I'm going to wait. Quite exciting who they're getting in. If it's actually who they're getting in, we're going to wait till it's confirmed before I reveal all. I'm going to wait till it's confirmed.
We could speculate who it could be over, have some fun with it. Who can they pull in? Maybe they'll bring in an old name and they'll start to play TF2 again. That's how Dawn started playing again for a little bit.
We'll see.
It's nice when sometimes you get these old names being pulled in, and then they start playing up again. They find a whole new passion for the game again. Maybe they can get Rico or what was his scout partner way back when?
Reds,
yeah, Rico or Reds back in. I think they're actually on the Lethal Weapon lineup on the team page. So.
Oh, I think it's confirmed. Bash is going to play.
Ooh, Bash. That guy's always murky for everybody, isn't he?
Yeah. It's quite funny, because obviously they probably wouldn't have allowed Bash. eShock probably wouldn't have allowed Bash after they denied T-Mac for them, but Bash is actually on the Lethal Weapon roster.
Oh, wow.
So there's no, they don't even need to ask for question. Bash is coming in for Monty.
No PJ Salt.
I can't remember off the top of my head the last time Bash played at this level.
No, actually, I think he merked for another team a while back. I can't quite remember. It might have been during... Actually, yeah, it was during the Sunshine Cup for Lethal Weapon. They were playing in the final with him. So, what a turn of events. They're playing Sunshine, and now they've got the same scat they were playing Sunshine with last time. At least in a competitive setting.
Yeah. Odd. But yeah, we'll see how... I believe Bash is on the server. So I imagine maybe we're going live, hopefully, shortly.
You still need to tell me your Sunshine prediction, CommanderX.
I'm going to go like 6-1 Lethal Weapon. And like a quick 6-1 as well.
You don't think they're going to figure it out at all?
No.
These, the Frenchies?
I think it's going to be interesting watching them. And it's always going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. Like, watch one player, like, in the PW played earlier today. He pumped out 500 damage a minute. He took over 10k damage and died 7 times. Like,
wow.
To take 10,000 damage, which is what? 50 times he's like initial health?
Yeah, it's
and only
50
died
potential deaths.
when he actually only died 7 times out of those 50 times he should have died. That's like outrageous. Outrageous? Outrageous.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to believe that the Frenchies, they got all the way to Prem for a reason. They've got brain in their heads. They'll figure this out. And they've got Ramagan, and I trust in Ramagan's leadership, sort of, maybe. Anyway, I'm still going to go with the Frenchies. I'm going to go with a tight game, though, by 2-1. I'd say it's going to play out the full half an hour.
Okay.
So we'll see if my crystal ball's lying to me or not. I actually have got a magic 8-ball. Let's. I know. Maybe I should actually use this. I wonder if you can hear me shaking it right now.
I can hear you shaking it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what the hell it says.
Okay.
See bubbles. It says not a chance. Oh no, it's not looking good for the French.
That sounds about right. So Bash is going to replace Monty, which will strengthen their flank and experience.
That is a definite upgrade.
But it depends if he's, the Russians tend to play quite a DM-heavy game, so depending on how on point his DM is.
Yeah, but maybe you just need that. Bash has always been like a solid scout. Maybe he just needs that scout backbone in the team, and it's a welcome addition to maybe the slight inexperience of Monty.
Shout out Dimul for having time to watch the game, but not to play the game. Maybe he was predicting a 35-minute delay.
Yeah, no,
we'll have action soon.
I would love to hear what his reasoning was. Maybe it was just they couldn't get in quite just on time. Maybe it was just like a slight lateness. Maybe they just wouldn't let him play direct hit, and he refused to play.
Maybe he wasn't unavailable. They just didn't tell him they were playing a game. They just sort of organised it without him. Hoped he wouldn't notice.
Yeah, Ramagan's the fresh pickup because actually recently Team Cohen / that Ramagan was playing with, they folded. So who knows? Maybe this is like a slight trial in a way.
We'll see.
Replace the backup of D Moore. Well, he's not really a backup, is he? He's just, I don't think he's on the lineup right now. And they still use Board. I almost forgot about that guy.
I feel like they have to be going live pretty soon. I think Forsaken has finally gone offline on Steam, which may mean they are actually about to play.
Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh, they've gone live in real time. We have 90 seconds. So, just to refresh you, in case you missed anything of the last 35 minutes, this will be the ETF2L Premiership Week 5 fixture between eShock and Lethal Weapon, eventually starting, both teams with a Merc or a backup. Ramagan in for Dimul for eShock, and Bash in for Monty for Lethal Weapon. We'll be watching the Frenchies try and down the tank that is Shadowburn, and potentially also try and work their way around Forsaken's sniping. But on middle it will be very much an even fight. The only thing will be obviously Shadowburn will have a whole lot more health than everyone at pretty much every point during this game. So watch out for that.
Still waiting for that timer.
Just to put into perspective how long we were delayed, the other game has in fact almost finished the first map.
Oh, live!
So, here we go, Lethal Weapon against E-Shock. I am going to follow Def to middle, see what he can do. He's coming the lower side, the slightly slower way. He's trying to trade damage, he's just sticking up kitchen, he's predicting a jump there. He seems very much committed to that. He's not done a whole lot so far. I want to see what else is going on. Both teams are sort of duking it out top right now. Def's taking a lot of damage, focused down. Nice work by Hedan, getting the better of him there. Shadowburn's still up top, and Whiteglow just standing there, pumping out heals ready for his team. Literally not moving, but with the death of Atomic and the isolation of this scout, Shadowburn's going to try and go in, but that might be a mistake. They probably have to back it up pretty soon. Shadowburn and Forsaken literally happy to take on the entire team by themselves. Forsaken's going to kill both scouts. And that's why the three of them are happy to take on the entire team by themselves. Shadowburn is still pretty much fully buffed. He has so much health. Hedan's really low. The Ubers are going to be exchanged, but Shadowburn's going to get a better Uber anyway and pick Hedan. Shadowburn and Forsaken absolutely dominated the entirety of the team. Shadowburn's going to try and chase as well. Look how quickly his health is being replenished. It is literally not fair. And he's holding the conch. He's holding it. Holding it, he's going to let it off now as they're going to finish capping the point, and we're going to try and burst their way through this left-hand side. They're all trying to come through the same door, but they could do with atomic jumping or something to open it up. They're still trying to spam their way in. They haven't lost too much health, but their health is still worse. And things are going to settle down for a brief moment here as Shadowburn rebuilds his conch.
Yeah, very strange middle coming out from Lethal Weapon there. I saw Whiteglow standing still on the mid. That's untold of. Unthinkable for a medic to do on mid, but there he was, just standing still, pumping heals into his team. And I was kind of a bit worried for them as they went players down, as they kind of jump in now, trying to make a move. They don't pushing off with the Uber quite yet. Now they've just popped off their Uber, but E-Shot countered with their own. Hedan's desperately just trying to sticky them out, keep them into the fight, and regret them coming in. But Whiteglow does get out, but they've caught off Shadowburn now. Can the Titan die? He does die.
They picked Bash at the same time on the other side of it as well. It looked like they did a good job to get out near Shadowburn and Death, but they just got caught out of the last second, and now each are going to start moving into mid. They got 5 of them, and they're getting the high ground pretty early. Death is just sort of spamming very passively, really, not putting himself in any risk, and they should get Shadowburn on the forward spawn. Yeah, they do indeed, so they're going to be at full strength in this CP2 hole. And it looks like E-Shock are just going to take their time and get their Uber. Don't want to rush into this.
Yeah, the tables have turned for now. Both teams are just kind of building out the Uber, as well as actually they've got a conch building out, I suppose, for the Lethal Weapon side. They've got 2 little of Ubers of their own to kind of work at, the possible opportunities and options presented to them, whilst E-Shock are just going with the tried and true Uber, and that is it. And shenanigans are cute plays for them.
Yeah, looks like they're just trying to spam it. They actually forced for Whiteglow Uber there. Really low. Shadowburn's going to try and force his own, but instead E-Shock are taking this Uber aggressively into them. Whiteglow's in a lot of trouble. Going to try and go lower. He's trying to juke what he can, but Ramagan's all over him. He will go down. Misplay by the Lethal Weapon. They're being punished really hard for this. They've got 3 players left alive on last. No heals. Forsaken is sniping. He's going to try and get the entry pick. He will get the medic. Might help him a bit. He's going to have to try and block the point, but he does get a lot of damage onto that soldier on the point. He's going to try and hit the scout as well. The scout's half thanks to Death. But Dev's got a lot of work to do now. The spawn's coming from the other side. It's Whiteglow. He's doing his best, but he's right in 3v1. Cannot buy enough time for Shadowburn and Bash to respawn. And E-Shock take the first round.
Well, I guess we see the weakness of the invincible soldier is to not go for the soldier, but go for his medic. Give him the one that's shooting all those buffs into him. So Whiteglow gets popped off there, and they can't fight against an Uber. He could be just about invincible, but he's not actually invincible like Ramagan was that last push. As we're going to the second medal here, both teams setting up now, kind of playing it passive off. Dagon jumps straight in now, going for the medic, the jugular, but actually gets taken out there. Doesn't manage to finish him off, but now he gets finished off by Droso, and now Chaos ensures. Nico's coming in to back up his team. He's trying to chase out any of these kills. He can maybe get Forsaken. He gets Forsaken in this sword room. Now it's just Shadowburn and Bash alive. Forsaken, Shadowburn actually is already still back on mid, while Bash is fighting somebody in sword room. He's doing a very valiant job fighting 4 players in sword room by himself, and Shadowburn gets out alive.
Yeah, Shadowburn's just going to jump away, and I think they're just going to try and keep Shadowburn alive, so he has for conch for last to help him defend. eShock should pick up CP2 for free here. And I won't be surprised. Yet Forsaken is on the defensive sniper. He killed Izzy last time, but Izzy didn't have Uber. It'll be interesting to see if Forsaken can get anything now. Or is he just gonna... He's watching the wrong side though. It looks like they're gonna go lower and just sort of circumvent Forsaken completely. They're actually walking up top right now with both soldiers. Again, they're taking their time over this. Whiteglow's back up to half charge. Viva's going to come now. We're going to try and chase Whiteglow. Whiteglow's actually juggled out. Whiteglow will eventually go down here shortly. Waste 4 of Ramagan's shotguns. They're trying to fight on the other side of things, but they're isolated here. They're going to try and jump out of sport to save it. They're going to kill one player on the point, but they both go to the point a little bit too early and just make it easy for eShock. You take a quick second round.
Yeah, it was very difficult last hold there, especially with Whiteglow getting cut off there. They really needed that Uber to kind of sustain that last hold. And eShock played that perfectly. They kind of like, once they got the medic out, they backed off. They didn't like try and pressure a point immediately. They just kind of squeezed out those little defenses between the sticky trap and these jumping soldiers coming in. So eShock with 2 rounds up. Another mid happening now.
Yeah, Dev's going to take the majority of the early damage, trying to pump some back out now onto the enemy demo man, forcing him back. Much more standard mid from Lethal Weapon right now. Whiteglow's pretty low. They're trying to contest that top ground, but not too hard, and Bash will be the first casualty of this middle. And again, Lethal Weapon just seem really reluctant to move across the point, and that's costing them these middles right now. And they might even get a couple more picks. Shadowburn does go down, and they're going to force them all the way back here. Soldiers going aggressive already onto Whiteglow. Whiteglow has Viewer, he doesn't want to use it. He will eventually have to use down to 20 health before Forsaken can take him down. And eShock, look how far back they are. Actually, no, Ramagang is dropped by Viewer. They tried to move forward afterwards. But he's still got on hold of it, and he's going to Uber pretty well. But Hedan's going to go down as well. Izzy not in sync with his heavy classes. Now they're going to try and force the issue, but Droso's just walking into way too many people. They will cap CP2 for pretty much a matter of seconds. As Death tries to go deep, Nico does a great job picking off Forsaken and giving a distraction for Izzy to get out of now. But he will still be at Uber disadvantage for French Medic.
And that was just mistake after mistake coming out for eShock there. Not only did they drop the pocket, but Hidan was kind of, maybe, I guess less so than Hidan, he kind of just got caught out by some good shots, but then Droso kind of like stuck around in that lobby area and got taken out himself. Maybe he was just trying to buy time for his team to cap second, but at what cost? They've already capped the second immediately, and they didn't have to use any resources to do that.
Yeah, they're going to try and come through now. It looks like Forsaken's going to try and make his way in, trying to open it up for his team. Now they're going to Uber through. Def's going to jump in, maybe? No, Shadowburn's leading the charge, forcing him back. But Izzy now has his Uber, and Whiteglow is well and truly out of there. Shadowburn's going to try and get out as well. But neither soldier can get out. They get Nico in return, but they've still got the man disadvantage, and eShock are going to want to power forward with this. They've even got a player stranded behind. That is Bash stuck behind right now. He's just going to have to try and buy as much time as he can in. Gets on the cap, in fact, and there's 2 players now coming back for him. This has divided the efforts, though. Bash will go down, but they might want to block CP2 for the reduced numbers there. But they really don't seem that keen on it. In fact, Forsaken goes down as well. That should surely force Lethal Weapon all the way back to their last.
Yeah, we see another issue with the black box coming out there where Shadowburn doesn't have as much mobility as he did with 4 rockets. Neither, he's only got 3, so he got 6 now. Ramagan getting hit by a very nice air shot there, kind of deny that push. He's going to go down and crater right there, but they're still going to carry on with this push eShock, or are they actually backing out here? They don't have actually the Uber to push in with. This is a very dangerous play coming out of eShock, especially with Izzy going down. And what was that, like 95%? What an insane play coming out from eShock. What are they doing?
Big mistake there. eShock just getting a bit ahead of himself. So now Whiteglow's got to push out with. And his soldier, Deegan, I think it is, still trying to cause havoc. He's going to get Forsaken. Stops that sniper threat. And Deegan is doing a lot of job, a really good job, really, just delaying everything. And he's going to get out as well, keep himself alive. And they might well want to go for the force straight away off this eShock. I would if I were them. They've got a player advantage, and they could really force Whiteglow in a position he doesn't want to be popped. And it looks like what they're trying to do. But instead it looks like they're actually going to push around. They're going to try and get these picks on flank. But there's only 2 players there, and the rest of the eShock team are behind them. Shadowburn's now going to have to try and take it back, but Whiteglow's going to take spam from behind. Going to have to Uber to try and block this. Shadowburn's sort of taking the solo Uber in.
But they're all rushing to last.
But everyone's rushing to last. Def's got it sticky, though. Def's got the exact right place sticky. Shadowburn's going to arrive. Syncs up with Atomic and absolutely devastates them. Shadowburn's going to go get another one. And that was a little bit on the edge there. Like, that could have gone wrong, but they made it work. Pretty unstandard play, and now it looks like Shadowburn is still chasing down frags on middle and going to get him out. Really punish him in there. So many frags for Shadowburn, so much work. And here's the conch. They might be able to get another frag here. They're chasing down that scout pretty hard, but he's only taking about 100 damage, and Forsaken's going to walk into the sniper of Deegan as he peeks his head out that window. And now Shadowburn needs to be careful that he doesn't get him and his medic killed. He's going to trade with Droso, and Def's going to keep pumping out damage. They do have Uber advantage, so they probably didn't need to take that fight whatsoever. But each are now going to try and come in. They're trying to force their way in. That's getting forced back. But Izzy again just seems to go ahead and sets up 2 frags for Atomic. It may cost him his life, maybe not even that. But Def and Bash are going to shut down all the players. They're going to get the demo man. They're going to get the sniper. Now Ramagan and Droso are in a really horrible position to be. They've got a lot of work to do and not a lot of resources to do it with. And I won't be surprised if they just keep themselves alive for last.
So pretty much what happened there was eShot kind of set them up for a defense on second, what with pulling the sniper and out and whatnot. And it was kind of strange to see Lethal Weapon kind of throw it away. As we got an Uber, enough about that now, they've got an Uber, they Uber straight in, they take out Ramagan immediately with that Uber. They were already stacking players onto the point here. It's going to be very difficult to defend here. They've got Deegan already jumping onto point, but Lethal Weapon doing a good job of spreading all their resources out, making sure that everybody's not affected by that bomb.
Yeah, I thought they sort of waited a little bit too long to get the point presence when eShock were wrapping, but they had such good positioning and it was so dominant, it didn't actually make the slightest bit of difference in the end. Shadowburn, big plays from him that last round, really helping bring his team back on the scoreboard as we go into the next middle. Tell me what you see, Turbo.
Alright, we're launching off this bit. Deegan goes straight into the enemy kitchen, kind of serve off a bit of distraction play. He has some time to kind of distract from here, maybe take on the demo man slightly. He's doing a very good point pressing the way. He kind of cuts off an exit point for eShock, and for Lethal Weapon rather, and they kind of just win the mid just off the back of that. They're a bit worried about Deegan, yes, trying to get behind and maybe kind of catch them off there, and they couldn't really concentrate on the mid fight, and it just allowed eShock to kind of push over the point and win it without even dying.
Really passive hold here from Lethal Weapon. They've given a lot of ground away for free. They do actually get Nico in the end, and that's going to force eShock to try and turn tackle and run, but it's really not going to work out for them. They're forced to trade with, they are forced to multi. Heaton gets picked off for Forsaken. Heaton trying to go forward with the Uber when Izzy was trying to save his soldier in the air. Just a bit of miscommunication there, and a lot of damage coming on to the eShock combo is going to force them back. We do see Deegan, I think, lining up a play in the log room, saw room even. He's going to come out straight above him. I think Shadowburn's checking it though. He's going to see him, eat him up. Still on 100 health. We're going to try and make the way through. The scouts are slowing him down.
The conch.
Ramagan's going to jump in as well, but here comes the conch and they're going to pile forward with it. But eShock's positioning are good. They push quite slowly and it gave eShock enough time to fall back to a safe position. But through building, Whiteglow has negotiated himself a small Uber advantage. Whether he's aware of it, I'm not sure. They might prefer to wait for Forsaken to get a pick with him on sniper.
It's very
Atomic's going in. They're going to Uber as well. Atomic facing down the medic, trying to force. Shadowburn's not really getting done with this Uber. He's going to go in deep for the medic. He's going to force him. And Michael is going to try and get out. Shadowburn can't get out either. Nice shot by Ramagan to deny him. And complete miss Uber right there. And this could cost Lethal Weapon everything basically. Whiteglow's given the jukes to that scout completely. Whiteglow somehow got all the way to kitchen. He will go down eventually, but he made that scout look completely the wrong way. And again, just another poor push from the Russians. Cost them not just like 1 point, it cost them 2 points and a significant Uber advantage. I think was it the first round or so when they had that bad pot from Whiteglow, and it just resulted in them just completely losing the round.
Yeah, and now you can see, even though that fantastic play coming out for Whiteglow buying time, all it's really done is made an even larger gap for his respawn between his teammates. So it's a real shame about that. Now that they've got pretty much like a full Uber advantage to work off the eShock lineup, but they do have Forsaken on sniper, seeing if he can make something happen.
Both soldiers are spamming him quite a bit as well. They're going to get pop out nice and early. Forsaken's actually going to kill Droso with a fully charged body shot before
Is he going to get out? No.
No.
They're all chasing for Forsaken. They're so thirsty, but what cost? It's just a sniper, and sure, you've taken them out, but you can't push the last anymore. You've lost 3 players. What are eShot doing?
Well, revenge was had, so
And now Ramagan's going to get... Oh, wait, no, actually gets a nice little...
He's super low, though. He's not going to crater, but Shadowburn will pick up a frag anyway. And Shadowburn's actually going to try and chase. He's going to encounter Scout instead, though. He nearly kills Nico, in fact. But instead, both players, Nico and Izzy, are able to survive and get out. But I hear a conch, he's saving it. We're going to go through this door, through kitchen even. They're going to try and move really quickly. There is a spy on the field from Deegan. Keep half an eye on that as the comes in. Shadowburn's going to chase down Izzy. Eats him up pretty easily. The spy is now moving behind. He's right behind Def right now. Def is not aware. Def is going to get backstabbed.
And he was capping as well.
Gone down as well. All the Russian players are really far forward and they are not middle whatsoever right now.
And Deegan's a bit useless right now. He's 11 HP and there's a spy. Then they know he's a spy. So what is he going to perform right now? He's trying to get back to the
Shadowburn knows! Oh! How does Shadowburn know?
No way. Did he? What?
He must have saw a flash when he shot the rocket at, like, you know when you take a little bit of splash damage as a close spy and it reveals yourself a little bit. Surely, I think that must have happened when he spammed
the door.
When he spammed the Izzy through the door, yeah. Either that or
it looked like he just like randomly turned and like shot at him. It was unbelievable.
It seemed like he reacted to something though, rather than just guessing.
Maybe do you think he just like calculated his mind that you know, the spy wants to get back in this respawn door, and that's what they're trying to do. Wow, I'm speechless. Oh right, okay.
Seems to be complaining about the server pretty consistently as well. So I believe the excuses have been lined up already. Despite still being around ahead. They're going to try and go in, but they don't quite have Uber yet.
Oh, they dropped Shadowburn.
Shadowburn went too early. Both teams sort of having a habit of doing that so far in the game, and they've not done a whole lot of damage. They're going to force some time on the point, but they're not really committed to this. They don't have a result. The Scout's still trying to dance around. Going to try and get out, but Droso will shut down Forsaken's exit. And another poor Uber from Lethal Weapon right there. And it's going to cost them, and they're now going to have to suffer a push-out. Bash is hiding up, although he's going to drop straight onto the medic. He doesn't get any damage on him though. Bash fluffs every single shot, gets 50 damage on Izzy before eventually going down to Droso. Good opportunity for Bash there, but maybe a little bit of rustiness on his aim, unable to hit the medic. But Forsaken is on Super, and they're going to push straight into this. Lots of damage on that soldier, he just about survived. And Ramagan's going to start taking this Uber up kitchen with Hidan. He is being looked at though. Hidan's going to take a body shot. They're all going to use the Uber to try and chase him out, but they do not actually get a single frag out of that.
Yeah, we're starting to see a trend here. If eShot just play very calculated and calm with these Ubers and whatnot, they win. But if Lethal Weapon can start making this game scrappy, it goes into their favour so much more. And the Sniper's really allowing them to do that. But now that they come in with their own Uber... Ooh. And actually, Deagon getting a fantastic force onto Whiteglow there, sending him low before he can either. So after that Uber, Whiteglow's going to be very vulnerable to an attack here. Maybe you'll see eShot come out here and they go for it. Ramagan's in from left, but Bash takes him out immediately. He's got open arms onto the Izzy medic now. He's also taken out Izzy. Can he take out any more players? Droso is low. He is backing off. Bash is buying so much time for his team. His team are coming back in now. He does get taken out eventually. Forsaken gets the revenge shot. Onto Hidan.
Forsaken absolutely, not Forsaken, sorry, Bash absolutely saved that push for him. Now a Scout's going to actually pressure Forsaken, he's got the SMG, he needs some help. He's going to meet up with his medic and the Scout's not going to be able to finish the frag, but I believe there's already a soldier maybe thinking about going window. In fact, the whole team of eShock want to try and they're trying to get Forsaken that space. They're trying to bait one of these Scouts into overextending, and Forsaken's going to swap over to window now, but I don't think he has an angle on anyone. In fact, the soldier's gone in.
This is very dangerous positioning coming up for Izzy here. If they just Uber onto him right now, he can just die.
And there we go. Atomic's gone in early. He's going to die. Nico is going to go down, and Shadowburn's going to chase. They're going to try and Uber in. They're going to try and finish this soldier off. Soldier's super. And the Scout. Shadowburn's going to get him as well. Hidan's still trying to fight, but he is outnumbered. But he has a health advantage. Hidan takes both the pocket and the medic down. Great work from Hidan. He's forced the demo out as well. Before taking a headshot from Forsaken. It looks like they want to try and go for a force, maybe. Bash thinking about it, but instead I think they're just going to opt to hold quite far back with Forsaken on Sniper. And he looks like he's sniping through cheese. No, Soldier's going to force him back even further. And eShock are going to lead the push out with Bash hiding underneath again. Bash is going for last. He's got to one-on-one a Soldier though. Deegan will win that one. He had backup if necessary as well. And a pretty comfortable push out for eShock.
What are these weird pushes coming out from Lethal Weapon? Like, they have a full Uber advantage and then they send Atomic in straight off the bat and he dies as right at the start. Maybe they're trying to do some kind of distraction play for the Uber to come in, but it's clearly not working. It didn't work last time and they tried it again just now. They must be really confident in it.
I think Atomic's too direct with it, really. He needs to be a bit more defensive.
Yeah, he does go in very, very deep.
Like, but he can go in that deep, he just don't go into people, go around people, make them turn their heads. And now we're going to see eShock trying to push in, but they
Forsaken in the forward spawn.
Soldier's going to jump in deep on Def, actually. Deegan's going to take him out. It's a crits, in fact. Shadowburn's trying to take him with crits. Forsaken's going to get 2 kills. The soldier behind is cleaned up by Bash as well. But Rocket doesn't hit anymore, but they're still powering forward. Shadowburn and Forsaken combining. This is when Lethal Weapon are at their best. Look at the power, the damage coming out from Shadowburn and Forsaken. They're pushing them all the way back. They want even more frags. They might even get some forward spawners coming in behind them. Forsaken and Shadowburn go different directions though, and then it all unwinds. And now the forward spawners are going to come in. There's 3 of them, but they all need the same splash rocket. It's a bit risky. They've now been Ubered upon. The scout's trying to go on White Glow. White Glow's down to 40. He's getting juggled away. Atomic's trying to do his best. Shadowburn is still causing problems behind. And they actually managed to survive. And now go to finish off Izzy. It might cost Atomic and Bash both their lives. But White Glow has gotten out. And that was a very good play to give themselves this big Uber advantage. As long as Def can get his medic out of this one. He has got a stick trap on the ammo pack. I don't think he's watching it properly. Goes down to a really low health, and they are in a pretty tough position, and the soldier's about to drop out behind them. This could be risky. They're going to crits back in, of course, it's still crit. They don't get anyone. Def's trying to get someone. Can't get anyone with no sniper stick. Instead, they're trying to chase these players down. There's not a lot of health on eShock right now. They maybe could just sort of bully their way in. But Nico and Droso are taking the high ground to make it very difficult for them.
Well, if this is the time to go with that Shadowburn tankiness, this is the time before they get the Uber and run over that crits. Because even if they build up that crits again, it's worthless against an Uber.
They have got ahead though, so they will have a slight crits advantage. The only danger is if eShock go before that, knowing they don't have an invulnerability on their hands. They might just go, and that's what eShock are doing.
Atomic's hiding in their kitchen now. Maybe he can get a nice little flank onto him. He sees the medic, but he shoots a rocket, kind of signaling to the eShot team, I'm here, you need to finish me off.
Forsaken was hiding though. That's what he knew. Forsaken was hiding, so he just left it for Forsaken to come in. Now they're going to try and come in from the other side. Shadowburn crits it, takes the soldier off the ground. He's looking for someone else to crit. Droso's going to go down. This Demoman's surely going to go down. Forsaken's going to steal that low HP kill. Only 2 players left, and they're both in the same place. Def is trying to bounce rockets away. He will go down. Forsaken goes down as well.
Oh my god,
Nico's going to kill White Glow. He's only 1 HP. He needs to get. Bash will eventually get him, but Deegan's getting them. Deegan and Nico have made this so messy.
Thought he was going to hit Atomic then and kill him with the escape plan. That would have been insane. Nico and Deegan taking out 4 players or so there. When it was just the 2 of them up, that was insane.
And now we have Shadowburn and Atomic trying to make a play to capture this. But they're both pretty low health. They're trying to use the conch to keep themselves healthy, but they're only able to get some of the cap. And they're actually going to cost them both their lives. Droso will go down to another big body shot from Forsaken. But eShock should just be able to wind this in eventually. But actually, his cap's got behind on Medic. 50 health on him, but he goes down. Meanwhile, Forsaken's still doming scouts. And they're trying to move forward. eShock are trying to come behind him. This is terrible for Lethal Weapon. White Glow's going to have to surf this out. They're going to focus down the sniper. Hedon's trying to chase down White Glow. White Glow will get picked by Hedon, but Izzy's going to get picked by Dev. Complete chaos on mid as it becomes a DM fight, basically. Snakewater underscore DM as Shadowburn's going to finish off Hedan. But there is still a soldier on mid as well. And a scout. Atomic's trying to pickaxe him. Droso will clean him up, but then Droso's going to get cleaned up. And now there's another soldier coming into mid. It's just constant chaos here, really. Soldier's going to come out window, but deny Shadowbox entry to the Sora. But Shadowburn's going to be fine with that and just leave a sort of low HP soldier behind. They can get that pick later. Maybe. He's trying to get out cheats. And Deegan's actually going to get a fadeaway. Nice rocket on Bash to take him down. Deegan and Nico having a really strong sort of past couple of minutes here.
And here comes the conch.
Are they just going to conch in?
Well, they've used the conch. I'm not sure if he's let go of the conch. Yeah, now he's let go.
We're going through the shutter door, though. There's so much.
White Glow's gone down now.
We're going to go for the medic. Oh my god, Izzy on 4 health, surfs back into spawn. He will survive. I do not understand why they went through the shutter door of that conch instead of left side. Really peculiar decision. And now Bash is going to try and get underneath for a back cap, and there's a scout there to meet him. There's another scout hiding in cheese. They're trying to line up these back caps, but eShock are taking their time, being very careful with this. So he's saying that they have just let Forsaken through, Forsaken is going to take on the Soldier, but Forsaken's not either Soldier. He's going to get launched into the air, down to 4 HP. Will get taken down by Deegan. Nice positioning by Deegan, just sort of hiding on the roof, exploiting Forsaken's lack of awareness. And now eShock can try and move it. Only 5 minutes left of this 30-minute game. It's still only 2-1, and actually Droso and Nico both overextended to death and set up to double frag for Shadowburn. Now Heden's maybe going to suffer the same fate as well. But Izzy does have Uber at any point. Izzy could just pull the trigger and they could have crushed him there. But then instead they're going to crits from Catwalk with Shadowburn. They're going to crits around the corner. Shadowburn gets 2, both soldiers. The medic goes down to a headshot as well, and this just synchronizes perfectly. Shadowburn and Forsaken combine once again. They're going to conch out the window, and that's just rubbing it in. He's holding it. He's holding it.
I'm not feeling these conches. Like, there's not a single time this, I would say a good conch has happened. Really.
Well, we might see one going in. They're going to go in lower again, picking a more spammable door.
But the sentry gun on the left, can they even push into this?
Well, lots of pressure on the scout. They're actually going to conch into out lower. Going to use Forsaken as back. They're just going to change their mind, actually, realising there's a heavy and there's a sentry, and a conch will be in no way enough.
I don't think that they know the sentry guns there, actually.
They have got. Is it crit still?
Yes.
Yes, they have a big crits advantage.
How do you beat a crit? You get an NG, you get a heavy, you get all these things that are very difficult to take out with just a single crits.
Well, they're walking in, they're going to crit Shadowburn. That's maybe a bad idea. Soldier's going to be really weak. Oh my god, Izzy's on like such a low HP, he gets back into spawn somehow. They're going to start stacking the cap. Heavy's on the cap, he's going to get forced down. Another scout's going to run on it. And look, great combination of using the crits to force eShock back and then focusing the point with one then another scout. Really setting that up beautifully for them to cap and tie up the game. 3.5 minutes left, 2-2. It's so close. Take me to middle, Turbo.
Alright, we see Hidan going the long ways, as well as Def. Def is kind of favouring this, keeping his kitchen safe this time. It's just spamming generally over. Both teams are kind of playing it slow. Ramagan's trying to force over on this left ear. Deegan tries to jump away, actually gets body blocked in the air. Shadowburn actually blocks him and gets out in the end, showing some pressure at top. But it seems for all of Lethal Weapon are very low right now. They actually have to get out completely, and it was pretty much a 3 mid for eShock.
Yeah, really sort of passive stuff.
Oh, the crits though, that was why they were so passive. They just came in now with the crits, and let's see if they can pick up the kills. They get Ramagan in the pocket, they get the scout Nico, but the Uber comes out.
Whiteglow's not going to get out though. Droso and Deegan combining now, and they could punish him pretty hard here. Forsaken still to dance around, but he's got to dance against the Soldier. He will eventually go down. There's a scout behind. Is he quick? Bash might have just done enough.
Oh my god, Bash.
Wow, Bash has definitely done enough now. He's going to try and take on the Soldier as well. Bash is on really low health.
Oh my god, he might get him.
Pistol. Soldier's waiting on the health pack. Bash is going to come back in, he gets the health pack just in time. Deegan did enough damage as well. No, sorry, Bash did enough damage and Deegan didn't get a health pack as well. But with 2 minutes left, Bash probably did enough now to stabilise it and prevent Lethal Weapon from losing it. It does look like we're going to go to a golden cap, perhaps.
No, 2 minutes is quite a long time in FPS land. It feels like an eternity almost. So it could happen here, even though it is very, very unlikely. But we'll see. Can Lethal Weapon or eShock pull this off? Deegan tries to go for an ambitious jump and actually fucks it up. And Forsaken kind of punishes him a little bit. He does get out quite successfully. Nico almost going down to Forsaken there as well.
Yeah, Droso's sniping as they try and move in, but they do have the crits earlier. Shadow's going to come in. He's going to try and shoot Ramagan behind, but now he's going to walk into spam, and the crits is wasted. Def's going to put some crit stickies. No, he's just trying to spam, but they're really far back. 1 minute 20 seconds left. They don't need to go for this. They maybe, if eShock can avoid using Uber, they might have set up a push for last, but I think they're just going to Uber around the corner blind. They've Ubered, and there's so much distance between them. It's going to be so hard for Nico to get a lot done with it.
He gets Atomic.
But that's all you think he's going to get. Def's backed off low. He's got some nice damage on Nico as well. Unlucky not to get the frag. Covered his exit there. eShock are going to have one chance at this. They probably have time for Uber if they really want. Whiteglow is still on crit. So really important decision for Shadowburn and Whiteglow and the rest of the Lethal Weapon team to make. I think they're going to go for it. This could be very risky. They're trying to look out. Shadowburn's going lower with it. Shadowburn's going all the way behind. They're backing it up. He set it up perfectly. Shadowburn's going to get everyone. Scout's still running into last. There's a Soldier going to jump in as well. They need help on last. There's a Soldier on there. Deegan's got 2. But everyone's come back for it now. Surely they will clean it up. Wow, Shadowburn exploits no one watching lower. Great defensive play of that crits to secure them at least 1 point from this as we move into the golden cap.
Wow, that was the exact thing, the exact play that needed to happen. If anything else happened, I think eShot would have won that. But
yeah, it's really difficult holding last with
all the stars aligned, and here we are with a golden cap. Alright, so I guess to break down this game, which is pretty difficult of itself, it's one of the more clownier games of TF2 I've ever seen.
It's quite messy.
Yeah, scrap fight after scrap fight. Mistakes, and then followed by some amazing TF2. Wow. So I think it just comes down to individual play here, but when it comes to gets cold and calculated, eShot do have the advantage, but they're just finding such a hard time of just getting it to that stage. And I think Lethal Weapon are really definitely playing off the scrappiness of this game as well now.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch. If you're looking at the logs right now, you see such like a big difference within the Lethal Weapon team in terms of players who are playing well and players who are playing, poorly. Like you look at Atomic and Bash for flank, 10 and 20 and 13 and 26, about 400 damage a minute between them. Compared to, say, Shadowburn and Forsaken, who are absolutely tearing it up. Shadowburn not quite as effective. Like he was effective in bursts. He had his moments where he'd get his clean up frags, but he wasn't that sort of constant tank, that constant threat that he can be. Yeah,
I was a bit underwhelmed, to be honest. We did kind of talk up Shadowburn for a good bit. About 30 minutes or so, and now I think most of it was just the conch play. I don't know what these conches would meant to do or what they were trying to achieve with them, but they seemed like randomly placed at best.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because the game was so messy, if that made it hard for Lethal Weapon to really get on a roll, and then they had a couple, considering they lost 2 rounds, both of them seemed to really come from 2 sort of key mistakes, key bad Ubers.
Mm-hmm.
And because they seem to commit to pushes so much, that's probably why they win quite a lot of them, but it also seems to be their downfall at times, if you commit fully to a pushing from CP2 to mid and you fail it, you do really set yourself up for a tough last hold. And that's what I think we saw happen there. But other than that, the game was just really even, really sort of tit for tat.
Yeah, it was more of a creative play rather than a game of tactical and mind. It's just kind of everybody freelancing in a way. Just showing what they can do on just their individual classes. Just trying to outplay each other. And now, yes, we are live.
Here we go, golden cap. 1 point apiece so far in this fixture. Still only the first map, thanks to some server disputes. I don't think eShot are still entirely happy with it. But it doesn't matter as we go into this final middle of Snake Water. Lethal Weapon taking the high ground. Both soldiers going up top. Both trying to get the damage out, but they are counter-jumped, and Atomic will be the first to perish. It doesn't look like Lethal Weapon want to sacrifice any more, and they're actually going to try and turn it back, and they do a good job of Bash helping out Forsaken there. And they are back on standard Uber, no crits, black box from them now, and it looks like they do want to take the trade. Shadowburn and White are getting aggressive in cheese. Bash is going to play, and they are going to get pop off. Shadowburn's going to chase down some frags here, but Izzy still has it in the bag. Shadowburn's going to get another soldier and get out. See you later. They are going to maybe find this cap as well, but Atomic seems to want to fight it. There is a scout behind as well, and they forced him off the cap. Hidan is horrifically isolated right now. There's 1 soldier behind and 1 scout in front, but this should be pretty comfortable for Lethal Weapon to clean up. Saying that, Deegan, I think it's Deegan, is making an absolute meal of being taken down to buy some time for the spawners to come in. Forsaken will eventually claim a frag, and White Glow has stayed alive throughout this entire fight. So he will have it, but there is a scout going behind right now. Nico going behind. Going to start the back cap, and there's not a lot of time on middle. And they've actually all been back. They are not risking it. They are not going to lose this golden cap to a back cap. And they've actually lost Bash in the process. And I feel like Shadowburn still wants to go. I feel like that could be a mistake.
Nico wins the 1v1 on second. And now he's going...
Ramagan catches Shadowburn in as well. He goes down. They will get the scout behind. They do have Uber, but eShot are hungry to force right now. Soldier trying to come in. Atomic sort of an adopted pocket, but he's separated now. There's a scout. Soldier coming behind. White Glow's going to have to pop. Look how bad this pop is. They're so far away from any frags. Atomic's going to try and go deep. He's going to get 50 damage onto the medic. Scout's trying to pressure him as well. But Izzy is safe inside that house, surrounded by his heavies. And now there's players behind again. Lethal Weapon really struggling to contain these players behind. They are going to get 2 frags on Deegan and Droso, the players causing him those problems. And they actually get another frag on Ramagan, hooked to a sticky trap. Now Izzy has the it's a reverse situation right now. White Glow has moved forward at exactly the wrong time, but it does not matter because they are preoccupied with Atomic. Absolute chaos right now. Izzy is going nowhere but the graveyard. While Nico has gotten himself behind as well and has taken a scout one-on-one on last. Chaos, as is to be expected whenever Lethal Weapon step on the field. And they're going to try and push out straight away. Shadowburn's challenging this scout, forcing him back. There is a player cheese vote, but I don't know if eShock are waiting to set up a bit of a play. Maybe not if Ramagan's just going to be taken down. But yeah, it sort of stabilises briefly. White Glow is still on normal Uber, and they do nearly have it, but Forsaken gets ahead of his team. The Russians seem a little bit over-eager in this
behind the spy though, he's going on to White Glow, possibly.
Is White Glow going to be forced? He's not going to be forced, he's going to be dropped by Deegan! Scout's behind now as well. Deegan's going to get the Ambassador headshot on Bash as well. Huge play from Deegan. They need something.
Is Nico going to the second? Yeah, he is, I think. Oh, he's fighting a soldier on second right now. Atomic. He might actually win this, and Deegan's here to back him up. He actually takes him out.
Shadowburn's distracted the rest of the team though. He's all the way behind with a conch and a black box, just buying time.
Yeah, but who's he buying time for? For eShot to cap second with their spy and scout?
I don't know, Shadowburn needs to do something right now, but I'm pretty sure they know exactly where he's planning to come from. He's just trying to jump out. Forsaken on Sniper, he'll need to hit something big. But now we're going to see a full Uber advantage. Def actually gets the pick on that spy. Not going to happen again. But they're going to Uber through lower Ramagan with feasting through Shadowburn. They're now going to focus down the Sniper. Ramagan's going to get that one as well. They do trade a couple of frags, but there's a lot of weight now. Only 2 players left alive actually, I didn't notice. Where did they all go?
Yeah.
Def against Ramagan now. Ramagan's on such low HP, he will actually kill himself with a splash damage from his own rocket. What happened to all the eShot players there?
The respawners just came in and minced them on the right hand side whilst they were fighting people on the left hand side. It looked very strange. I was doing the same as well. I was looking at the right hand side and I was like, oh wow, eShot have pretty much got this. What the hell? They've all just died.
I know. And now we're going to see Uber advantage swing once again. Back the other way. Lethal Weapon and White Glow in charge with the Uber. No spy this time. So White Glow should be able to hold on to this. They are going kitchen, but they do know it's coming. They're going to Uber pretty early. Def's going to jump through. Shadowburn's going to jump through. They're going to split their attention. Shadowburn is chasing this soldier. Shadowburn's lost where he's gone, but he's going to chase it anyway. Eventually finishes the Ramagan frag, but that's all they get for their efforts.
And they're getting back caps. Oh wait, no, not. That's their own team. I'm mixing up colours here. I'm going all over the place. God, this game is just... It's literally tearing at the seams in craziness right now.
Yeah, the Ubers have been leapfrogged, and again, a really far back Uber comes out.
But the back cap for Lethal Weapon, the actual back cap this time.
There's 4 players behind. They are going to get block phone. This could cost them both scouts. Each Lethal Weapon even have to be careful not to overextend in this, as Forsaken. Forsaken wins it against Ramagan actually. Beastly shots. They're going to conch through as well. Their health is being replenished as they get along. Shadowburn is charging through until he hits that scout and gets forced back, but they are really running momentum forward. They're going to cap CP2 and they might go to last, but it will be a mistake.
Oh no, they have an Uber
in 1 second.
They have an Uber coming in as well on this last.
Atomic's going to come in as well. They're splitting their attentions though. They need a frag. They need to get that heavy. They need to get something. Def's trying to fight for point. Def gets a nice pipe on Nico, and Lethal Weapon take it. Yeah,
wow.
Lost track of the Ubers there, and it looks a little bit tentative, sort of when they first went in. Is tentative the right word? Risky.
Yeah.
Risky, you know, like, because they didn't get a lot done early on in the Uber. And Def, with a great decision to stand on the point. Always a great decision to stand on the point, pretty much. Baited Nico on, hit some nice damage on him, finished him off, and just finished that cap.
This was truly the game of throws for eShock here. If there's one word I could like sum it up, it was just communication. You could tell that there was a big communication problem going on with the eShock lineup. Ramagan would just jump in with low health, trying to get away, and Izzy's frustratingly trying to like, Ramagan, come back, I've got an Uber, I can heal you. They're trying to save him. And then you've got players unaware of other players in front of them. So easy kills that could be if they were just called out, but it did look like they were being taken up on, and then teams were just going full tilt, people jumping in and going into areas that they shouldn't be after respawning. It was very chaotic for eShock, and I was kind of surprised that Lethal Weapon didn't take it sooner.
Sorry, I'm just reading chat. There's a lot of talk about my pronunciation of conch.
The big debates going on in chat.
That game was pretty interesting, but now for pronunciation
Wait a
discussion.
second. Did he say conch wrong?
I'm pretty sure it's conch.
Yeah.
Conch. I don't know.
Well, how do they think we should say it? Conch.
Someone make a straw poll just for different pronunciations. Conqueror. Oh, like conch rather than conch.
Yeah, but it is an actual conch, isn't it?
The jury's out right now.
I'm describing exactly what it is, not what its name.
Let's go back to that game. The stats from the Golden Cap vlogs. Pretty even, really. Shadowburn again topping it, 500 DPM in the 6 minutes. That was the Golden Cap. White Glow with only 1 death is what really proved to be, the ultimate deciding factor. Shadowburn with 7 air shots in a 6 minute and 11 second Golden Cap.
Jesus.
It's pretty good. That's the exact number of air shots you need to hit, over 1 a minute. That should be fine.
Okay, well, Sunshine, you've... Wait, what was the scoreline at the end of that? It was actually, it was a Golden Cap victory, so we can say 3-2.
Yeah.
So that's probably... And we both kind of went on the Lethal Weapon boat on that last map, so we can't really be smug about this. But this is the time, this is the point where the Frenchies will turn it around, surely. I'm backing them, I believe in them. The Magic 8 Ball doesn't believe in them, you don't believe in them, but goddammit, I believe in them. Tell me about Sunshine, CommanderX.
Sorry, I'm still enjoying the conch debate. I'm going to start saying conch now.
The conch?
The conch. Let me look at the results. Oh, conch is winning. Whatever is, by the time we go live, whatever is winning is the pronunciation I will go with for the rest of the cast.
Man, there's no pleasing the chat. They said that they didn't like the conch earlier. Now it's conch, and now it's back to conch. Oh. You need to make your mind up, chat. You have control.
Sorry, I'm going to keep casting now. This is taking me a lot, so I'm back.
I know, I can't continue casting until I know how to say conch, man.
It's such a crucial word to get right in this matchup. Yeah, in any matchup that Lethal Weapon are going to have in future, I imagine.
Could be a deeply offensive word, you don't know.
We'll see. I like how we've got it on stream as well. I like that a lot.
Alright. Still waiting for both teams kind of ready up here. We've just got a few players taking a slight break here. We've already said our Sunshine predictions. Have you been tuning in?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be... To be honest, I didn't think the last night was going to be as close. I thought the conch, since that's currently winning, was going to be a bit more of a decisive factor, a bit more of a sticking point for the game.
It was more of a victory shout than it was a gameplay.
It had its moments, but part of me also feels like, I don't know if the crits works well with the black box, because he may not have as much killing power, but because he's so hard to kill, you can't really focus him down in the same way. Like when you crits him with a demo man, and you can just crush him, but if Shadowburn can take and juke a lot of damage, as well as having, if you go aggressive on a soldier with crits, you will get killed straight away, because of how close you have to get to them. Yeah,
and plus it kind of baits them into that fact as well, because if they get close to that soldier, it just makes it easy for him to just lay crits upon you. So yeah, very interesting mechanic going out with that, but at the end of the day, it's still also just 3 shots and it's a soldier. You even saw, I think, a last push coming out from Lethal Weapon where they got on top of a hut, and Shadowburn was desperately trying to hit somebody with these crits, but it was just, the rockets are just so slow that they're very easy to dodge from a long-range sort of fight.
He almost got lucky with one of those long-range crits. Like he got like a lot of damage on 2 people and that didn't quite die. I guess that's the problem as well. You don't have the same one-hit kill really mechanic as much as you do with Demo Man.
Yeah, but they must be doing something right, because I think it did work in the end there. That was the one where they were fighting up against a sentry gun and the heavy, and then suddenly they just all died.
Lethal Weapon definitely seemed to get better as the game went on. So especially they seem to be, I guess, I'm basing this a lot off that one previous PCW result where they did really well on Sunshine. But as a fan of Lethal Weapon, I am hopeful for a strong performance on this map.
Yeah, and we thought the opposite was going to happen. We thought, sure, they'll be incredibly dominant at the very start, and then maybe they'll start to drop off a little bit later down the game. But no, it's just, I wouldn't say the super tankiness of Shadowburn has really shone. It hasn't been like the centerpiece, like say the quick fix epidemic was, but I think you just see it shining through here and there, and maybe you'll see them kind of play it off more. I think it'll work a lot better on Sunshine, especially these mid-fights.
Here we go. Speaking of mid-fights, here we go to the first one. Map 2 of this Week 5 fixture between Lethal Weapon and E-Shock. Def getting to mid so much quicker than his counterpart. And we're actually going to set up an early frag on Droso. And that's going to really pin him back. Lots of damage on the players as well. So much damage, in fact. Tommy's going to take it on, and wow, 4 frags in quick succession after that early Droso pick. And Nico and Izzy are going to have to run all the way out. Going to pump up that Uber, so we will have Uber to defend last with, and Sunshine last can be quite a difficult one to push. But it looks like they want to go straight away. 95% on Izzy, but they don't quite have enough force to force their way into last. Shadowburn's peeking from lower, but they change their minds, and some nice directs from Shadowburn, forcing the scout away from him and his medic. So now it's going to be interesting to see how they want to push. Looks like they want to conch in. I don't know if they're going to go for a force or an Uber trade. It's going to be an Uber trade. They're going to Uber in, get a lot of damage onto the soldier. Lots of players committing here, but they actually find a frag. Shadowburn has gone behind with this as well. Behind and out. Forsaken is still dancing in, fighting, and so is Bash, but that's going to cost them both their lives. Overstaying their welcome there, and they're going to have to back it up now for Lethal Weapon team.
I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with that trade there, because it wasn't really a trade. They gave up the conch as well as an Uber to kind of force their Uber, so they're just losing out in the end there, and even lost out even more because they dropped even picks because of it, so the conch isn't helping with them getting out.
E-Shock didn't seem to want to attempt to push. Like, it is quite a difficult push out to make in this sort of last to CP2. But they didn't seem to fancy their chances at all. Instead, they're just going to sit back on last, both build up their Uber. I don't know if they're relying on Droso to get a pick, but he is going to have to face him against Forsaken in the Sniper duel. Although I don't think the angles are particularly great for Sniper. Saying that as Forsaken wins the Sniper duel. But it might be quite difficult for him to get any more picks than this. He's getting a lot of space lower, actually. Shadowburn's going to make some space for him, and they're actually going to push off that pick. They're going to try and chase down this soldier, which leads to a lot later pop. And White Glow is about as stranded as you can be on Sunshine last. He's going to juke around for as long as he can, but Shadowburn will go down as well. They've done damage, but they've not done a lot of it. Another failed push by Lethal Weapon, and this will surely lead to a push out. We just have to avoid the Rifle of Forsaken.
Yeah, I think they just...
Actually, let's count on last. He's gone low, a soldier's dropped down. Deegan will just about kill Bash before he can take him down.
That was too close for comfort.
Yeah, only 28 health left on the French Roma. But E-Shock will block for last cap, will pick up CP2. Now they're going to move forward to middle. They don't actually have an Uber advantage as such though, but they think they do because White Glue is on crits and that's the only reason it's so close. So they're going to try and muscle their way in. White Glue is maybe a little bit dangerously far forward, but it doesn't seem to matter. Maybe it does matter now, but Demo's put a lot of pressure on him.
Oh, Hidan's been isolated though, and he's got taken out by Bash. Bash has just continued to go straight through mid there. And now both of the teams are just kind of tearing each other apart. But now that there's no Demoman support coming out for E-Shock, it's just very easy for Lethal Weapon to come back in. And Forsaken even makes it easier by taking out some picks here and there during that mid.
Yeah, Showman's going to lead for charge in. There is a scout actually hiding behind. Who is it? It's Nico.
Oh no.
I don't think they're aware of it either, but there's not a lot Nico can do as they're already streaming towards last with
he's going in behind. He's maybe looking for a death pick. Or maybe he'll go for the back cap actually. He's just being very patient.
Crits. He's going to crit sim. The crits comes in slightly late, but he still gets 2 right at the end of it. He cannot give the medic, but he's forced Izzy away from everyone else. They're just going to stack for point. Hidan's trying to put stickies on it, but he can't do enough damage. And Lethal Weapon converting that cap.
Yeah, I think they wanted to go for like a backup play there, but realizing that, oh no, it was a crit, not an Uber, we can't really delay this crit, it obliterates everybody on the team in the matter of seconds, and it was just too late. Nico couldn't get him back in time, and his whole team was wiped. Alright, so another middle here, we just, both teams kind of playing it casual. What Lethal Weapon like to do is kind of set up early, but eShock have kind of realised this and favoured this right-hand side now to kind of really focus down Def at the start of these fights. You know, favour one side instead of trying to kind of splash it out all across the map, you know, make it thinly spread. So they just favour out the right side, take out Def immediately, get that mid, and now they get a second because of it, because they've got no down man to defend.
Shadowburn wants to go for crits, it's risky! Oh my god, the crit rocket whiffs past everyone, doesn't get any kills, it's a wasted crits. I think they get Deegan actually with sort of the last one. But not really a lot done, and now eShock have a full Uber advantage. They can either wait for Deegan to respawn if they wanted, they've got such a large advantage. And also, they know they're playing against crits now, so they don't even have invulnerability to save themselves. They actually forced in lobby though, and they lose Nico, but they get Atomic quickly, he did get that force. Shadowburn's getting chased down pretty quickly as well, but Droso's going to overextend into that, and the Uber has faded because they were... Def's even trying to spam them a bit.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon doing a very good job of kiting that Uber there, realising that eShot didn't spread out to the right-hand side of that map. Now, as they're trying to push out on the second, they have used a conch. They're looking to just poke out with it. Again, yeah, not much happening with this conch, but it's just...
Glow is the problem, so they're trying to force for play right now, but tough. But they actually separate Izzy and get a couple of frags. Forsaken absolutely beasting it. Izzy's going to pick up the pack, and Droso's going to clean up Forsaken before he can get the third frag. Valiant effort by Forsaken, and it's going to allow him to get some cap time, but surely eShock, just a matter of time before eShock come in and block this. Here they go. They're actually going to maybe get the cap. They're just going to wait. I think they're waiting for Uber before they fully commit to this fight. And
yeah,
now
really scared.
They are just going to get away. Only 40% on White Glow. I believe he is on standard Uber again now, so in 50% time he will have invulnerability, but I'm not sure eShock are going to allow him that courtesy.
Yeah, it wasn't really worth it for the Lethal Weapon lineup. They just kind of, once they got the Uber, they had the confidence to go onto the point, and now they've got the Uber, they're just going to try and chase out and get these kills on last.
Both scouts on flank, yeah. This is going to make it a bit more of an even fight. They're going to focus these players on the floor as well. Bash gets one, there's a soldier in the sort of sneaky area. Atomic's going to go on him, make it free for Atomic on that defense. And really, I guess, I don't know.
It was just the respawners and obviously Atomic taking out two of those players there. So with both those scouts getting taken out, the sustained fight was really bad for Lethal Weapon. And when the respawners, for eShock, and the respawners were just enough to defend out the rest of that last push.
What would Droso and Nico doing though? Like, what's the need to peek from that door at that moment in time? Like, why not come in behind your combo or from a different door? Like, especially when your scouts just died to a soldier right there. I don't know if you thought Atomic was low or something, but Atomic definitely wasn't.
Well,
and they really just screwed up that push for their heavies.
Well, last time they got kited by Lethal Weapon a lot. So I think they were just trying to make sure that didn't happen again, but again they just kind of switched to the other side of the bell curve and then just died because of it, trying to cover out the other side.
Atomic's now trying to get aggressive down Valley while we're sort of in between Ubers. But not a whole lot is done. The scouts can't quite finish any of the frags, even though damage was done to several of the frank players from eShock. And it looks like they're just going to sort of stalemate here. The onus is obviously on eShock to push with the being around behind and also having the spawn advantage. But Shadowbones looks like he wants to walk in. He actually gets pretty early. Izzy's going to dance away, going to pop off eventually. White Glow's going to not get out of this, I don't think. No, Shadowburn and White Glow really sort of just piss poor Uber, really. I don't know quite what their plan was going to stand mid. They're going to lose Forsaken and Bash as well. Only Atomic and Def left. And they are really up against it right now. 9 seconds still on the players. Def's going to get picked off. Atomic has to do literally everything right now to hold on to this point. He's going to jump towards it, but there's not a lot he can do.
He gets the escape plan out thinking, I've got this, boys, don't worry. Oh no. Yeah, just a poor Uber, and once they Ubered in, they didn't even know where Izzy was, and by the time they found him, they just popped with their own Uber. It was too hard to get out of that doorway. It's a very curved, a weird choke, kind of like doing almost like a U-turn sort of curve, so they couldn't get out easily as well on top of that. But yeah, another round, another mid. We get launched again. Shadowburn still favouring that top of the watchtower there, and now that Lethal Weapon are more aware of eShock's little tactic of favouring that left-hand side, and now they're seeing if they can maybe puncture it. But both teams holding the ground quite valiantly. It could go either way, to be honest.
Crits up for death, and White Glow, but there's not quite a clear target.
Yeah, it looks like
back. And I think they know. Because look at what's happened to look where Izzy and Nico are.
Yeah, Deegan tries to go for a force on White Glow, then gets taken out. Yeah, it was a very strange middle. It was very passive. I think they were just both scared of what both teams could have done. So, and eShock just, I guess, were a lot more scared and backed out of middle completely altogether.
They must have known it was crits. Like, to go that far back, I'm convinced they must know it was crits because it was a pretty even fight. So, great eyesight and use of words there by whoever called that.
What a way.
Really important use of two of the key senses that humans have right there.
I like their sense work here.
Yeah, Bash is going to lose his 6th sense, that is game sense, and get picked off here. And they're going to keep sort of trying to force Bowie in. I'm actually going to get 2 picks before they even come in.
Yeah, they don't even have to use the Uber.
Hedan will go down to Forsaken, but I'm pretty sure they've taken out one for free trade right now. Neither team has used Uber. Bash will be getting forward spawn. The Conch is being used at Chuck. Absolute devastating play, really. But the Conch heals himself back up, and Shadowburn's able to get out and get the force out. Never mind.
This might be really good here, because they'll bait them out in second, and maybe they'll pop Uber right now to defend it. They're trying to shut off the gates, though. eShock's kind of preventing this.
Shadowburn gets one. The players are trying to go aggressive. White Glow will go down, but they should be able to clean up quite a few frags right now. And they're going to still try and stream full. Lots of spam going on to Cafe, trying to chase that scout down. But he's bouncing around quite well, and he's actually going to turn around and kill Forsaken. Nice work for Droso to keep his medics safe. More spam coming in, but Droso's just juking around, getting the heals from Izzy. And I will expect pretty much an instantaneous repush from eShock right now.
Yeah, then they come in straight from Choke. There's no need to use right now. Izzy's not being pressured at all. They actually get a 3 pick onto Bash right there. Forsaken's respawned as sniper. Maybe you can make something happen on second right now. They have to worry about a possible back cap coming out from Lethal Weapon there. They've got over half of it capped on the midpoint. Atomic's just kind of laying and waiting, maybe going for an ambitious bomb. Ooh. White Glow almost gets taken out by D-Gun there. Very ambitious jump from him, but doesn't get it in the end. Atomic jumping around, causing just being a nuisance to the eShock side, just delaying time for Forsaken maybe to make a pick, but they do get forced out of second in the end, and they weren't really forced to use that Uber.
White Glow's on crits as well, so I'm really kind of confused by the lack of committance to that force, and now White Glow's probably going to have to use this crits. He's trying to juke away.
They're really scared of this crits there.
The crit's going to come in, but they are completely outnumbered. There's going to be a scout on him. Shadowbird's going to turn around. They actually, wow, the switch around from this crit's getting free.
Oh, Droso, you could have done it.
Really nice work, and now Shadowburn, Atomic even with some nice rockets, going to take down them again. Forsaken and Bash combined. Hedan's going to jump to the point. He's going to get one, actually. Atomic makes it back in time. I thought that was, like, never going to work from Hedan, and it didn't, but there was... I had second thoughts for half a second right there. But it looks like eShock want to contest straight away. Here comes Ramagan, just taking that full buff, going straight onto the point, taking off Forsaken. The cap will go down. But eShock are willing and ready to contest this, and they have the health and player advantage to do it with.
Ooh, definitely almost getting taken out there. Tommy might actually get a pick onto Ramagan. That's
oh! What's he doing?
What on earth? Okay, that kind of just jumped into his arms. I think Lethal Weapon will take that. They've got the crits pretty much ready and willing to go. They don't have to use it quite yet. They actually get some 3 picks before they even make a push off with this crit. And now they've even got another 3 pick possibly in the form of Droso going down. Yeah, he gets taken out there. And now they have to... Oh, but they've used the crits anyway. They've used the crits on second. And now they're flooding around this choke area. They're all very exposed. Izzy is so low. He could get taken out here. But Shadowburn hasn't got a shot to finish him off.
He's lining it up. He's going for the choke.
Oh, but Izzy's giving him the jukes. He's gone under. He's picked up a health kit. White Glow even finishes off a player for Shadowburn.
Raymond,
the conch has gone off now.
It's just to heal them up so they can keep moving forward, I think. Atomic's going pretty quick. There's already a scout on him. Trying to pressure them. They do have a sniper in the forward spawn, but it looks like Lethal Weapon just want to use momentum to go forward. But Droso's going to dome Atomic, and that's going to force Lethal Weapon just to slow the pace down a bit, which is probably in their best interests.
Yeah, you see Shadowburn trying to maybe force them out here. eShock just really like to play these cold Ubers, cold calculated Ubers, and just play off as much as they can with that. But they get really, really scared once that Uber goes off. So we'll see what happens here now.
Oh, they're walking straight into the crits! Oh my god, Shadowburn's going to kill her. Ramagan, Izzy again to half health. Droso's going to go down. White Glow's going to go down and return. There's a couple of low players. Hedon actually cleans up 3 with Pipe. Looks like a really even fight, and then Hedon just came and arrived and just ruined it for
Another conch.
Yeah, it looks like they want to try and go through choke with it. Trying to use that speed boost, but Deegan's going to shut him down. Deegan's going to chase down Death right now as well. He is forced back actually. White Glow and Bash going to combine. Arrow and Scatter going to take him down. Forsaken's now watching the choke, but he's probably almost definitely overextended, but Bash is coming in to help him out. Bash is going to challenge the Scout as well, but Hedon helps his Scout out. More pipe kills from Hedon right there. Really nice work from him. Just helping eShot keep this momentum going forward. Takes a headshot and will be forced to stop. Really sort of constant fighting here. They're just happy to go at each other and give it a go. And now we're going to see a full Uber charge versus a defensive crits.
Hedon has been on fire with these pipes all of a sudden. He's kind of just like completely turned around these fights for Lethal Weapon and eShock here. And now they come in with this Uber. They haven't got much done with it right now. They actually do take out White Glow, so they don't have to worry about this this crits that's going to rain upon them. But the Scouts at the end of this fight is just proving too much for eShot to handle. Maybe should they go for that medic at that last fight? They actually have a heavy on last.
They've moved away. Lots of health, but it's probably a mistake. They weren't far enough away, and Death and Forsaken are going to clean them up. It has pulled them away from CP2 temporarily. But Ramagan not on the go, doesn't really have enough health, and a Scout's just going to walk behind him. Forsaken will get the kill. He's got his Scout really weak as well. Forsaken's going to get Droso as well. Nice play from Forsaken. Death and Bash going to walk straight into Hedan's sticky trap though, and pretty much neutralise all that good work done by Forsaken. Forsaken's not done yet though. He's going to go and kill Hedan as well. Nice 3k from Forsaken. Really making it easy for his team to push. But that's, like I said, that sticky trap is going to keep them even. And now there's Scout going through onto Atomic. And just constant fighting on the flank, at the chokes. Really just keeping the game of this pace pretty high. And they do nearly have a crits again, or at least a lot closer, but I think they might lose CP2. They're definitely starting to keep the pressure up though. Scout coming out from low. They're thinking about pushing straight away, and I think eShock are cautious of the crit. Here comes Shadowburn, they're going to crit straight away to counter the aggression. Crit's going in, he's going to miss, he gets the Scout super low, the Crits comes in again, he gets 2! Excellent play from Shadowburn. Black box, conch, crits. Hedon's going to jump in, Shadowburn's got the conch loaded though. Forsaken steals the kill. But they clean him up pretty easily, and now we have a soldier hiding above him. I don't know if Shadowburn's going to check, he's just running through. White Glow's going to walk through, this could be devastating for him. He's quite a bit away, White Glow's going to surf. It might be okay, he's going to juke underneath. Nice work from White Glow to stop Deegan's efforts. And now Atomic's struggling with a Scout in the cafe, and he's going to be forced back, he's forced lower. The Scouts are trying to flood through Cafe, but they couldn't find where he went, and somehow Shadowburn got Izzy in the meantime while I'm watching the flank play.
No, I don't think so. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to keep, like, there's just things constantly going off, all in different parts of the map. Even I'm struggling, and I've got like this extreme camera that is whizzing about.
I'd recommend just watching Shadowburn, because he's about to get another crit. If in doubt, just watch Shadowburn. And here we go, he's going to meet him again. He gets the crit. He makes a bit of a meal of killing him. I think it's going to be swapped. It's going to be kept on Shadowburn actually. The crits go down. He doesn't get a lot, but they've got so many frags outside of that. Only Hedon and Droso left alive. Hedon's trying to pump out the damage, but he can't get to point in time to put his body on. And eventually, 10 minutes after it was tied up 1-1, Lethal Weapon regained the lead.
I think they've clearly found their groove, Lethal Weapon, now. They've realised if we just keep constant pressure, even if we're like down by an Uber and whatnot, if we just use the conch to just force them and then get out, they can use that crits that they've been running permanently, I think, so far, and just clean up kills and turn fights with just that, because that Sure, they throw away all these players, but you just need one player up to kind of wipe out an entire team with that crit. And now as we go to another middle here, you see eShock favouring this right-hand side. We've got some pick plays going off Atomic there, but he gets taken out almost immediately. D-Gun tries to jump in with his favour, but they respond. Shadowburn is trying to sustain throughout this entire fight. It's amazing White Glow is still alive for all this time, and it's just Shadowburn left. 3 players up, well 4 players up, including the medic. And maybe he might even take out a scout here. They just decided to go back to last, and Shadowburn is agreeing to go back as well. Actually, on saying that, I hear a conch. The battle cry for lethal weapon.
Oh, he's going to give it health back. He's going to go for it again. He's thinking about it at least. I think he gets the conscious stuff regularly. He's just happy to use it, but he's actually going to get picked off. Sensible decision from Nico earlier not to bother chasing Shadowburn. It was too risky. And now they're going to flood through into CP2 as a team here, eShock. There is a player in Valibo, but I'm not sure who's going to win the one-on-one.
Atomic is flanking all the way around with the escape plan. I don't think they know where he is.
They know someone's behind though, so they should know he's there soon. Nico again finds a way to die just before they push into last. Atomic is still behind, and I think Deegan is just going to wait to try and one-on-one him. As Viva comes in last, Shadowburn's going to try and get away. They're going to chase them back into spawn. White Glow will not be fortunate enough to get in there though. Now it's going to turn into a DM fight, but the heals are still in favour of Ish. But they're getting sort of pushed into this corner. They're really getting pressured back. Death's arriving now, putting so much damage down. Shadowburn combines with them as well. Great focus fire there again to finish off the eShock players. Shadowburn now needs a bit of help on this right-hand side. No, he doesn't. Great rocket from him. Nico is in getting death though. And again, another failed last push by eShock. I can't help but think if their scouts could just stay alive and push, just normally, just stay alive for a push.
Yeah, you hit the nail. Yeah, you hit the nail exactly on the head there. They pushed in. They actually kept them in spawn with a sticky trap and a soldier. But the soldier had to kind of divert his attention to kill all the other players onto the point. Which, if they had scouts up, they might have been able to do that. Degon going for the last, but he can't fight against 2 players. So, but again, both teams are kind of meandering off. Lethal Weapon's no longer capping the second. Actually, Nico's challenging the invincible Shadowburn right now with that. Another conch goes off. Droso's on sniper, seeing if he can still defend this second point without actually committing. The conch is doing quite a lot of work, just moving the rest of Lethal Weapon onto that point without any risk, with that constant healing. They're all bunched up in Cafe here. It's quite risky, especially with the crits from White Glow. Can they get onto Shadowburn?
They have Uber to save themselves though. All he needs to do is pop in time. He's got his eyes on it as well. He's going to be expecting it. They lose Ramagan though because he gets killed on the flank. It's actually normal
it's
Uber.
A regular Uber. Okay.
Caught us by surprise.
Caster's curse.
But they are awfully deep right now, and this is going to cause an awful lot of problems. Actually, Hedan makes a pretty good effort at trying to pick the medic, but it will not work. We're going to chase down Izzy as well, and now they're going to flood through. They're going to spawn camp as well. Death's locking it down, and make it pretty difficult for them to.
Nico's going to mid though. Maybe he can kill Bash and delay this mid point.
He's challenging it. They're still spawn camping though. Nico's taking a lot of damage. Going to have to back away. He is still behind though, still a threat. And everyone is now out of the front spawn, so they will be able to pick up CP2. But Nico's beaten Bash in the one-on-one behind. He's going to try and get the health pack, but it's not there in time. He can't get to it before Forsaken takes him down. And now Lethal Weapon have an opportunity to extend their lead with a 20% lead advantage, which might be very difficult, especially with droso in that exploitable heavy spot behind the wall.
You think they would play this maybe more akin to this left-hand side, especially that they know they've got an Uber against them now. They can kind of play a bit more traditionally. But you never know, they might just trade Ubers and then just go back in with the conch. And even if they fail, just go back in with the conch. That just seems to be the game plan for Lethal Weapon right now. When in doubt, just use the conch. And now they've gone back straight in. Droso's almost getting taken out. He does get taken out. He was in the spawn. He could have changed class. And now the dominoes are starting to fall. Oh, are they actually? I don't know.
The Uber gets popped. They have Uber in time. They're going to try and get Shadowburn out. He does get out. He gets to the health pack, gets himself healthy, and they might try a repush right now. Atomic's peeking in. He's not getting a lot done, but he's really open.
Oh, but the respawn is in 2 seconds. Droso and Egon, but they're too slow.
I'm not sure it'll be enough. They spawned in time, but they didn't have an opportunity to actually get to the point.
That was a very strange last push, because I saw shots getting fired, but I didn't see anything dying. And then, just, okay.
Yeah, Shadowburn went in really deep, and he just caused absolute havoc in the E-Shock defense, and forced them all, just made them more vulnerable for everyone else, basically. Turned the heads, they got picked off, and now we go into another mid. Challenge for the high ground straight away. Shadowburn takes on 2 soldiers, unsuccessfully. The scouts are trying to focus down Nico now, and they do, but the positioning for Lethal Weapon is so far back. But Bash and Forsaken doing such a large amount of work, Atomic's going to come in, join them as well. His soldier's going to go down surely as well. Just Deegan on 1 HP. Shadowburn will clean him up, and that's a full wipe and full crits advantage even for White Glow.
Yeah,
all eyes on Shadow.
They didn't keep tabs on Atomic there. They probably maybe could have played and won that mid with positions, but with Atomic coming in from behind, just causing at the very least a distraction, it made it very easy for them, for Shadowburn and whatnot, just to push over the point and claim the victory that way. Alright, Crits comes in, it gets launched straight at the heavy, actually the soldier, he gets taken out almost immediately. And now it's just the Crits, the carpet of sticky bombs just laid all across the last push here. It's just way too hard for E-Shock to handle. It's just Nico up against like 5 players. The victory conch coming out from
look at the doms
Shadow
right now.
This is... I just kind of quickly looked at that and I just went a bit speechless for a second and I was like, what the
Free for Forsaken, free for Shadow. That is where the heart of this Lethal Weapon team is. This is where they will win their games. And they're really just coming into the fore, having a really good time on Sunshine right now. And we go to another mid. They're going to try and burst through Cafe, and they get Atomic to really low health now, E-Shock.
Yeah, but Atomic actually kept out most of E-Shock coming into the mid from Cafe, and they're all pretty low.
White Glow's so close to crits because all that healing he got on Atomic as well, so they're kind of backing off and they're going to leave Forsaken to die. Death might be in trouble now. Soldier's going straight onto White Glow. White Glow's going to go down.
Bash is
Huge
behind trying to
play
take
from
out
Deegan.
Izzy, but he actually dies on the mid.
Yeah, Soldier's going to go in now on Izzy. Izzy's gets quite low. Atomic will get him before he goes down. Not quite enough protection for the French medic there.
Yeah, but they threw a lot of players away. They're actually not even going for point right now. Death actually gets out and gets a nice pipe onto Nico there, surviving all that. Oh, saying that, Ramagan chases for that killer, but then God, it's just a trading card game.
Oh my god. Shadowburn's DM just again, absolutely on point, just picking people off.
And
taking on a scout with just the black box, even with the healing, is pretty difficult.
I think they've all lost each other. They don't even know where the fight is anymore. Shadowburn's wandering on mid, while Deegan's still fighting on second. Now Forsaken's entered the mid, went back to second to fight Deegan. Now there's another fight going on mid from E-Shock. White Glow's got nobody to heal. There's an absolute chaos going on in this flank here.
Yeah, I think Lethal Weapon overcommitted to it though, and now they've just got to slow it down and get their medic out of there before it costs them the whole round. White Glow is on standard Uber, and it is even.
Oh, no.
So the spawn should be in time, so E-Shock don't really have enough of a window to push us without Uber unless they're feeling particularly confident.
I think it's just going a bit YOLO and crazy here because there's only 2 minutes left on the clock now. It's almost mathematically impossible. Well, it is mathematically impossible for E-Shock to make a comeback here, I'd say.
Yeah, they're going to Uber in right now, but White Glow still has the Uber. He's going to pop it off nice and early. Ramagan's going to be on such low health after this Uber as well. It's actually standing on stickies, and they do just about avoid most of the exit damage with that Uber. Nice shot to Atomic. He's going to go down straight away afterwards, and I think they will be able to hold on to this last. Really not enough people alive for E-Shock. The conch is blown. And I think they're just going to use that to walk out. Going to avoid for stickies. White Glow is zooming past them. Shadow's going to go pretty deep with this. Focus for spam onto Heed, and the soldier's really low as well. But with Forsaken going down, they don't quite have the damage output to finish off any more frags. But they will secure CP2 with a successful push out.
Yeah, it truly is just roaming into dead time right now, with all players just going needlessly aggressive, trying to bump up those stats. So it is a victory overall for Lethal Weapon in the end on both maps. But the E-Shock side do walk away with just a point to their name.
Yeah, it's turned into pretty much complete DM right now. Everyone's just trying to pad their logs. Yeah. And
White Glow
only
even
Nico left alive for
White Glow
E-Shock.
even reaching the century mark for the medic. Quite a milestone.
Yeah, Shadowburn up to 4 doms now, just completely dominant. Sunshine seems to be a map that really suits Lethal Weapon.
I think
Not surprised at all, really, to see. how well they did.
I think with these newer maps, teams aren't quite as tight as you'd think, like Badlands and whatnot. So it just allows for these scrappy plays, this random aggression, and just even the certain points in the map where teams kind of looked like they were getting lost and didn't know where everybody was.
Yeah, it looks like Lethal Weapon is going to throw one last kind of sort of push. Here they come, just barrowing through. Bash playing pretty well. I don't know how much he plays recently, but he certainly contributed today, had some really good moments. Nice to see Bash playing again.
Alright, I've got the logs open, I'm not sure about you. I know the map hasn't entirely finished yet, but they're just kind of adding insult to injury right now, getting another put last round to kind of cap this off, make it look pretty for the stats.
Yeah, and if you look at the logs right now, you'll see Shadowburn, 34 kills, pretty impressive, but I guess more importantly, as well as his 500 damage a minute, he also only had 9 deaths. Less than anyone else on the server, including his own medic. Wugler only had 1 more, but still, he's just dying such a low amount. Same with Death as well, only 12 deaths across for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you just see, like, even though the just for frag difference, for damage difference, I think in total they did 10,000 more damage across for 30 minutes for Lethal Weapon team. So it's no wonder it was such a comfortable scoreline, really.
Yeah, I would kind of draw attention to maybe Shadowburn and how much he's outperforming Ramagan, but the fact that he's had, like, I don't know how many crits slapped onto him, it might skew the results slightly.
Suyooo, can you move Droso in? Do you have the right? Do you have the power? Hi, Droso.
Hey! Hello, guys.
Hello, how was that for you? Obviously not the result you wanted.
Well, they won against the mix, so I guess they're pretty proud of themselves right now. Like, it was the first time we ever played with Ramagan. I didn't even know that guy's voice before. Didn't know what he sounded like.
Yeah, it
so
seemed like
that was incredibly messy. That was not really fun to play.
Mm.
So yeah, I just that was really fun.
Do you think
I
take it you mean it made a big difference, I guess, to the final scoreline?
Well, I think if we could use one of the guys we actually play with sometimes, we'd have won. At least like water.
How did you find it playing against? Or we talked a lot about cast about Shadowburn's loadout, really.
Well, it's pretty effective against the mix. I don't think it would work against a proper team.
They beat Suave in their PCW. They didn't have Mirror though.
That's a PCW though, doesn't it?
Yeah. But still, it seems effective.
Yeah, it seems effective enough. I don't think it would work against Suave playing seriously though.
So where does this leave you? I'm just trying to get the tables up now. So this leaves you on 10 points now, and Lethal Weapon go on to 15.
Yeah.
Where are you hoping to finish for the season? I guess for top 3, the playoffs are out of your reach, more or less.
We're just gonna
the highest you can.
Cruise along, in the last few games. Just gonna try not to lose to our remaining games, but doesn't matter that much. We can't be in playoffs anymore, so as long as we stay in Prem, that's all that matters.
How many is it 2 that get demoted still? Or 1 gets demoted?
I have no idea. I don't know how they're gonna do it with the tiers and shit now.
Droso, you talked about how you're playing almost like a mix earlier. Would you say a lot of this was just down to Ramagan, or?
No, it wasn't his fault. It's just that we've never played with him, so we don't know how he thinks. He doesn't know how we think. It just doesn't work like that. Like, we got caught so often between the flank and the combo classes, you know. It was just so messy all the time.
Yeah,
that never happens when we play properly.
It seemed like Izzy had a lot of problems. Like, quite often Izzy would go one way, but Ramagan's going the other.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about the fact that Demo wasn't here tonight? Do you think it would have made a difference if he was playing instead?
Yeah, I think it would have. The thing is, he told us at like 19 tonight that he couldn't play because his microphone was fucked up. So that was a really bad surprise. So yeah, we just asked them if they could play, if they would allow us to use T-Mac instead as a pocket soldier, so that he wouldn't even be playing his main class, which is Roamer, as you all know. But they denied us the right to play with someone we actually know. We had to play with someone we never know. We've never played this ever.
Do you think that fault is completely on Lethal Weapons?
Well, no, you cannot blame them for Demo being unavailable, but I think when you're in Prem, you should be more fair than what they were right there. Like,
so,
you're not supposed to deny mercs who are the same skill level as.
It is a bit. I guess some people would call it a bit unsportsmanship, unsportsmanship-like or something like that. But at the end of the day, maybe it's a competition. And
I'm on the fence. Like, a part of me thinks, it's kind of sucky not to allow merc, like especially in Prem. Like, I feel like there's very few players who would be so above most like mid-table to top Prem teams level to not allow the merc. Like, I think T-Mac is better than Demul, but obviously he's not got the experience with the team. But I don't know. At the end of the day, rules are rules. I have a more fun question for you, Droso. Throughout the entire cast, we had to say we had to talk about the shell quite a lot, right?
The what?
You know, the secondary weapon for Shadowburn.
Oh yeah, the conch. Yeah.
The conch. See, the whole debate was whether it is conch or conch.
I don't know. We call it conch anyway.
Conch. There we go. Obviously, just to clarify, as always, Lethal Weapon will be not joining us for interviews. Probably partly due to a lack of English, and Forsaken just doesn't like talking on air. But we heard from Droso, and that was nice. Anything else to add, Droso?
No, not really. Just wanted to say that we were a bit angry, I guess.
I think that message came across, don't worry.
But anyway, it doesn't matter that much, just a game, but
yeah,
a bit annoying still. That was the main mistake.
Any shoutouts before we wrap this thing up?
Shoutouts to you guys for casting. It's really nice that you're still on still on the streak for this season. Still not a game missed.
Yeah, it was fun.
You guys.
Any shoutouts, Turbo?
Shout out to Not Trying, and shout out to everybody watching out there. That you're the reason we do this. Yeah, I think that's me done.
Shout out to Vander Banja for complaining about my pronunciation all game. And thank you to everyone who watched. I know some viewers went up quite a bit when the other game ended, so I'm going to go probably watch for VODs from now. But thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to Suyooo for streaming, and thank you to Droso for coming on and the teams for playing. This was ETF2L Season 20. We'll be back tomorrow. I will be casting another game. I can't remember what it is right now, but I will be back soon. So thank you for joining us. This has been Team Fortress TV 2.